At the graduation ceremony, the girl I grew up with confessed her love to me in front of everyone. The crowd erupted in cheers and whistles. I was the only one who looked completely lost, but I already have a girlfriend. The entire auditorium fell silent. Sophie's eyes instantly welled with tears. "Ethan," she choked out, her voice trembling. "Haven't you been in love with me for years?" The giant screen behind the stage was playing a slideshow of photos of me and Sophie, a timeline of our lives, from diapers to dorm rooms, some of just her, some of just me, but mostly of us together. The backing track was Wonderwall by Oasis. You could tell she had planned this meticulously. She was on stage as the valedictorian, the star of the show. Halfway through what was supposed to be a perfectly normal speech, it turned into this, a public declaration of love. Under the watch of thousands, the silence was deafening. My roommate Mark nudged me hard in the ribs. "Dude, haven't you been obsessed with Sophie for like, ever?" he hissed. "This is your shot. Don't blow this because you're trying to be difficult." His words just made me more confused. It was true. I'd had a massive crush on Sophie, but hadn't she always been disgusted by me? She told me to stop following her around like some pathetic, spineless puppy. She told me that even if every other man on the planet dropped dead, she would never, ever choose me. So, I'd given up on her a long, long time ago. My mom and Sophie's mom, Penny, are best friends. Growing up, the one thing I heard constantly from Aunt Penny was that she was reserving me to be Sophie's future husband. When I was little and didn't know any better, I'd grin and agree, even promising I'd have a whole bunch of kids with my Sophie girl. When I got older, I'd just scratch the back of my neck and blush, my ears burning hot. We were always together, a package deal. And Sophie never publicly contradicted the assumption about our relationship. It made me believe that maybe, someday, Sophie and I really would get married. That belief lasted right up until high school graduation. When it was time to apply for college, my first choice was a university that had the best program for my major. When Sophie's parents found out, they immediately started pressuring her to give up her dream school. "If you and Ethan go to the same school, you can look after your future husband," her dad said over dinner one night. "Exactly," Aunt Penny chimed in. "It's good for you two to have each other for support." "So, does this mean I should start saving for the wedding?" my mom joked. The conversation around the dinner table was spiraling into fantasy. I kept my head down, my face flushed, completely missing the fact that Sophie's expression was growing darker and darker by the second. Suddenly, she slammed her hands on the table and shot to her feet. "Can't you see I don't like him?" she yelled, her voice shaking with rage. "He follows me everywhere. So damn needy. Have some self-respect." Her outburst froze me in my seat. Humiliation, shame, a crushing sense of inadequacy, a storm of emotions I couldn't name washed over me. I clenched my fists under the table, my knuckles white. I looked at Sophie's face, at the undisguised disgust in her eyes, and my heart felt like it was being scraped raw with a dull knife, over and over again. Crack. Sophie's dad slapped her across the face and ordered her to apologize to me. "What is this nonsense you're spouting? You don't like Ethan? It's a miracle a boy like Ethan would even look at you." The mood was ruined. Everyone's face was grim, but Sophie was defiant. "I'm going to Princeton, and you better not follow me," she snarled, her eyes locked on mine, as if I were some kind of criminal. Being stared at like that by the person you love, it physically hurt. In the end, Sophie didn't get into Princeton. She ended up at my school, Northwood University. I didn't see her again until move-in day, when I spotted her dragging a suitcase across the freshman quad. We hadn't spoken all summer. When she saw me, a flicker of anxiety crossed her face. It was only after Aunt Penny nudged her that she reluctantly came over to help with my bags. "I got stuck at this crappy school with you," she muttered under her breath, so only I could hear. "Are you happy now?" It felt like a punch to the gut. I sidestepped her, moving away from her reach. She froze, her hand hovering awkwardly in mid-air. Aunt Penny quickly smoothed things over and offered to walk me to my dorm. On the way, she apologized. "Ethan, honey, Sophie's just being immature. I'm so sorry for what she said back then. I'll speak to her." I dragged my suitcase along the pavement. Sophie was already long gone. "It's okay, Aunt Penny. It's in the past," I said, my voice muffled. "We're adults now. We don't like those childhood jokes anymore. I'll keep my distance from Sophie from now on." I had thought it through. Childhood fantasies aren't real.